commence
took a
with
half hour
Furlough
to get
Friday 15, boys.
Furlough Friday 15 with Chris Wagner and Chris, a.k.a. Callie. So we'll go with Callie and Wags. Is that okay? Can we do that so we delineate who's who here?
Sure.
Works for me, yeah.
That works. All right. Furlough Fridays, where we call long-lost friends, get them back together, start talking shop and shit, and drink a little. So first and foremost, what's everybody drinking?
Atwater Dirty Blonde.
Attaboy.
I like that one, yeah.
Nice. And Wags, are you up in Michigan?
Yep, that's right near Atwater Brewing.
Nice.
Oh, good for you.
That's where Callie is also. He's
Yep. I'm just
flies
outside
up
Detroit
there.
here. Yeah.
He wasn't part of
okay.
the old unit though. We'll get to that. So Callie, what you
Yeah,
got?
we'll get to that. Yeah, nice to meet you, Chris. I've heard of you, heard good stories, but never met you in person.
Oh yeah.
I'm drinking the New Amsterdam limited edition Detroit Red Wings vodka. They're the same people that make that Pink Whitney vodka that all the chicks drink, but I thought I'd give it a shot.
Okay, I don't know what kind of disclaimer that was, but
None of
go
us
with
would
it.
have known if you would have just left that out, actually.
Knowing
we
Tyler
could've.
and knowing his affinity for White Claw, I'd say he'd be a fan.
Oh, the White
Otherwise,
Claw, the claw.
This is flavorless vodka, but Tyler, I recommend you try the flavored vodka.
Naturally. Naturally.
Was that you that sent that meme out earlier?
No, that was Bobby.
Oh, okay.
No,
The White Claw meme?
I've seen that before.
The White Claw, and we were
But-
just talking about White Claw. Don't worry, Wags. I won't leave you in the dark. I'll send it to you after this. It's pretty funny. I don't know if you're into White Claw, but it's pretty bad.
Jameson Cold Brew, the
Favorite.
standard.
Dude.
Yep.
Standard.
So now I got a choice. So I got to see what you guys know about your booze. So my go-to is Woodford Reserve, but I got this stuff from this place, and I don't know if you guys know anything about it. It's called Heaven's Door. Have you had this stuff? Unbelievable. So I'm gonna probably do one of each at some point down the road, but I'm gonna start with this Heaven's Door. Yeah, this is American-made stuff, man. I love it. So as we pop the cork on that,
I usually start with expensive stuff, and then I go to the cheaper stuff, and then I get drunk and lose my judgment and go back and drink all my expensive stuff when I'm hammered.
That's never a smart move. Which is a perfect segue in how to handle yourself. Wags is notorious. So Chris Wagner goes way back for the beginning of the 63rd as it was known when it first came from Detroit down to Tampa. So he's one of the originals, and we lost touch, and he's one of the old OGs. So he went off and did clandestine, probably stupid shit somewhere else. But now you were doing some engineering or something, right? And then now you're doing some flying for some airline.
Yeah,
what's going on?
All right, you got my whole story there.
All right, story over. Great. Gets back to drinking.
All right.
Fill in the blanks.
Well, okay. Where do you want me to start? I started.
So what happened when you left the unit?
Well,
what year was
back
that?
up even further. I was hired by the airlines back in 2000. So I actually just hit my 20 year. So
wow.
When the furloughs started, the unit said, "Hey, we're going to put you on full time. We're not going to make you an AGR or an ART or anything like that for the reserves." It was the reserves then. So they said, "All right, we're going to put you on orders full time." And then after 2 months on orders, they said, "Oh, we ran out of money, so we're going to have to wait till the end of the quarter." The end of the quarter comes up, and they said, "Oh, we're out of money for the entire year. We have no more man days to give you, so you're kind of screwed." So I was unemployed for a while, just doing a reserve when I could, and at that time they had limited budget, so they'd only let you fly twice a month. So
this is 9/11 stuff, though, right?
Yeah, this is
That was
after
like pre
9/11.
9/11. Oh, after.
Yeah, this is
After,
after
yeah,
9/11. So that's why they took all the money to give it to active duty so they could go do the mission, and they pulled it all from the Guard and Reserve. Actually, 2/3 of our budget.
Well, we showed them.
Yeah. I'm getting more in the weeds than you guys want to know, but what I did then.
Yeah, faster or funnier. Come on.
All right. When I was on active duty, I was a flight safety officer. So and I had an engineering degree,
Wait.
so I had to.
You were flight safety?
I was flight safety. Kind of funny.
I've flown with you.
I never told anyone that. Of course not. Once you get.
No, you're a great pilot. I'm kidding. I
Why,
was one of the
thank you.
younglings, so you were good.
Thanks, appreciate that. But I marketed myself. Let's go back even further. When I was banked, when I
was a baby.
Yeah. No, when I graduated pilot training, they had no cockpits.
The first
for
time
us.
I saw an airplane fly overhead,
Yeah, exactly.
it was the Blue Angels.
There I was.
No, I just did it for the chicks. We all know that.
That's how everybody did it for them. Why do you think
course.
we're talking there?
Okay.
We all did it for the chicks.
So I was banked. While I was banked, I did systems acquisition at Wright-Patterson. So I had some engineering stink on it. So I marketed myself as actually a risk manager because of the flight safety stuff. And I had engineering degree. So I got a job, luckily, with General Dynamics Land Systems.
That's what I remember. You were with GD. So
GDLS. So I worked on the Abrams tank.
Is that like GDYFF?
Kind of like a GDYFF. He's not a Nate fan. I don't know if he does know Nate Diaz though.
Is anybody a Nate
knows
fan?
Nate. Oh, yeah. Well, not that he's not a fan. He doesn't go that deep yet. See, what you got to understand about Nate Diaz is that when these guys are around, the OGs, you, Tim, Gary, Nate was like one of those coffee getters. He's one of the go give me some coffee types. He wasn't what you got to understand now that Nate kind of runs things there, and everybody's like, "Ooh, Nate Diaz," because he's graduated into the shoes that you guys left, right? The boots.
No, I was a chief pilot when we hired Nate Diaz.
Correct.
And there was
right.
time, so. And there was actually a question whether we were going to hire him because, his explanation of how he was going to get up to Detroit was like, "You got to be shitting me."
Because Nate Diaz. That's all you had to say. Because Nate.
Yeah,
Diaz.
Exactly. So.
And I hope you're watching.
No, he's a good guy. He's a great guy.
We would love Nate. We've had him on 3 times? I don't know. The last time might be his last.
Were you involved in the? Did you hire that husband's combo?
What?
Start over, Callie.
I'm sorry. Up. Were you involved in the hiring decision of the that husband-wife combo?
Oh, he was against it.
Absolutely not. I was not.
Yeah, he was against that big time. Actually, the only advocate was Gary, right? At the time.
Behind the curtain on what happened back then. Yeah.
I can't remember who I was not part of the chief pilot group of that hiring decision. There were some things where if some guy was gone, some other people who decided that they're going to do that. I'll go on another.
Zepter was absent that day.
Yes, I was absent that day. I was deployed probably when they hired him.
Dude, it was crazy. It was like people would deploy and then somebody else would just jump into that seat. I remember Eminem was doing a lot of the stuff, and then what was the other?
Sharp.
What was the other?
Ken Sharp.
And, Ken, but then the other guy, Spaz, he was doing a lot of.
Zaps.
He was Zaps. Yeah, he was doing a lot of stuff when I got there.
Yeah,
up in Michigan before we come down.
He should have never been hired either, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's for another time.
Yeah. But anyway, back to me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that you were already on with an airline before going to GD.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I was with airlines I got hired in 2000, got furloughed in December of 2003.
Okay.
So,
and then when did you go back to the airline?
Actually, so I got I went back in 2015. I deferred for like 6 years.
Right? Yeah. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that.
So the airlines waited 16 months-ish before they furloughed you after September 11th. Is that right?
Oh, yes, they started at the bottom. I was senior enough to make it for about 2 years before they got to my number. And then when they recalled me, of course, they go from the top, and we were allowed to defer for
5, 6 years or something, right?
I think it was 1 year after the very last guy was recalled. So you could defer 1 year after that. And I did because I had a decent job. I was going to merge with someone, and I knew they were going to declare bankruptcy.
Sure.
And a lot of people didn't see that, but I did.
It's because you're a genius.
Yep, that's why. I'm glad you got that out of there.
You're not a genius. at all.
Nostradamus over here.
Not
Not
even-
even fucking close.
Yeah.
So
But,
what do you see, since you're the first guest on Furlough Friday that has lived through 2 catastrophic
Yeah,
airline
that's true.
events? What kind of parallels do you see and what differences do you see?
Oh, that's a good question. Obviously, after 9/11, it was devastating to the whole airline industry. But the customer base returned much more quickly than this is returning. I didn't
Yeah.
think we would sit here for 7 months. And I don't know if you guys follow the TSA numbers, but
Yeah.
normally you have 2.5 million
Yeah.
travel per day. We haven't broken 980, I think.
Yeah.
So we're right around the 1/3%, and it's 8 months. I didn't think that the United States would tolerate that
Yeah,
big of
I'm
a,
surprised.
yeah. So honestly, I don't think it's going to be long lived either. I think that it's going to come back quicker than people think, because go ahead.
Do you think there's going to be any more merging of sorts?
I don't know. I think there might be some that just, yeah, actually, if I had to guess, I would say yes.
Yeah.
There will be like, I don't know, maybe Spirit's begging to merge with someone. They've been begging.
They
to
really
merge
are.
with
They
someone.
really are.
So, and JetBlue, I thought that's who we were going to merge with, and we didn't. But so I'm not a genius.
Yeah. I think if it's good for Uncle Sam, it'll happen. But with all these, all this government money going around, we talked about the last time I was on. I think the government has all the say in it if they want. If they offer a aid package and say this is for payroll protection only, you can't use this to go buy another smaller airline or to merge with somebody. You know what I mean? So as long as there's strings attached, I think merging would only happen under the consent of Uncle Sam. Which I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, you don't.
Well,
we definitely don't want too few options.
That's if that CARES 2 doesn't happen. I think, like, if CARES 2 doesn't happen, then the free market's going to take over, and things
absolutely,
are, So then, yes.
Not to get into too much of I'm not going to get into politics, but
No.
you guys did hear that. They said that they weren't going to discuss any more of the CARES package, and
until
then
after.
afterwards, until after the election, and then today they just said, except for
airlines,
this, and this, and airlines.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet. I'm not.
Yeah.
I've learned over the last 3.5 years that a tweet does not necessarily equate to
policy.
Eat it, right? Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
I saw the same tweet.
There was one tweet, and then the other party confirmed it with a couple tidbits. So
yeah, I'm not going to categorically call them false. I'm just saying when it's a tweet, it might as well. It's worth the paper that's written on, I guess.
Okay, yeah,
I'll say what I think. Yeah, my opinion of this versus 9/11, since I was around for both, who cares? Is that this is a global issue. 9/11, even though everyone kind of felt the same threat, it was very much localized to the U.S. So they had, especially the airlines, they had their international operation to kind of lean on, and push out. Now there's really nowhere to push the people. That, and I think the 1 million we have, that's almost all leisure travel. Like, I think we're still getting a huge vacuum of business travel. So we may see
something's going to happen there. Something's going to happen there with the business travel, I think.
Yeah. Once business comes back, I think you're right, Chris. I think the whole thing comes back.
What do you think?
We're not taking business customers anymore. All of our customers are leisure travel.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tyler.
Oh, I was just wondering, do you guys think what'll be the biggest catalyst for getting flyers back in the passenger seats? Post-election or vaccine?
Oh, I think
it's a little bit of both.
Vaccine's going to add more confidence in the flyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
post election, that's just typical churn. But I think vaccine will really boost passenger confidence.
Now,
Yeah.
but then that begs the question: are the airlines going to make you take a vaccine? Like, or how can they make you,
maybe
take this
maybe in an
vaccine?
interim.
Or the fact that it just exists is enough?
I think the fact that it just
exists will be
exists.
enough.
Yep.
I think
Same
you
here.
use these big terms I don't understand called herd immunity and kind of the collective wellness of all the people. That there's still maybe some small outbreaks of the virus, but if by and large the population is vaccinated, then it'll slow it enough to flatten the curve or whatever they need to reduce the threat, and then we can open up middle seats and we can open up business travel and we can do all the things we used to do.
So I know you don't fly Finn because
No.
we never closed the
Right.
middle seat. We've been
And you're selling the shit out of them, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. And that's another point I want to make. We cut back all of our flying. There's no direct flights. I fly out of Miami from Detroit. There's no direct flights. There hasn't been. And getting to Miami, if I wanted to, I couldn't because everything is overbooked. So we've decreased the capacity of our airline, and it made it so you can't get a seat. Everything's overbooked. So I think they're doing, this is Chris Wagner's personal opinion, I think this is by design to try to get the government to, as far as lines goes anyway, you have to give us more money, otherwise we can't increase our capacity. As soon as we get that CARES Act, I think they're going to open up more capacity. So if we're at 800,000, why are we at 800,000? Is it because the demand isn't there, or is it because the ability to get to places that you need to isn't there? And I think it's a combination of both. I think airlines are playing this to get the CARES Act money. And once they get it, they'll say, okay, we're good till March. By March, everything's going to be going smoothly.
Yeah,
I think they'll
that's
start
kind of the
adding
premise.
capacity
That's
back.
what our guys are thinking too. A lot of the folks in our community are thinking the same thing. That it's all a play, and to see what the best
And
play is
unfortunately, I think
for.
the same logic goes into holding these jobs hostage. I think, I think
Yes.
Americans got the highest, but they're holding this list of people saying like, look, what is it, like 16,000 at, was it American? Yeah.
American has
16,000,
1,600 pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've got about 1,600 pilots too with the widget, but I think they're going to Congress holding these people hostage for the same reason. It's all negotiating in public, trying to get that CARES Act pushed. I did all I could. I don't know if you guys did the same. I got the email from ALPA, so I left messages with Representative Stevens and Senator Peters.
Well, we had a TA that we had to vote on.
That's right. Yeah,
we modified our contract. Like it's a done deal. So
there's a lot of people in your company happy and a lot of people in your company pissed, huh?
Yeah, and I'm all these threads and I see some of the stuff that's going on, and it's disheartening, to how we turn on each other when none of this is our fault. None of this, we have no power over this. And that's the disconcerting part, that under the guise of this brotherly love that we're a part of this union and, trying to help each other out. Regardless, and I'm not saying whether you say yay or nay, whether it's right or wrong, that's your business. I don't care. It's just the fact that regardless of how you go about it, there's going to be people that don't like the other side, and they're going to react and they're going to do things. I've heard of people not getting, jump seats and stuff like that. And
that's getting petty.
And you don't know if there's story. It is petty. You don't know. And again, I don't know how truthful it is. I'm just saying I'm reading this stuff and I'm like, man, I sure hope that's not happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's amazing how they get us to turn on each other too as employee groups. Because I think in general, employees shouldn't have to subsidize the shortfalls of management. So if management overextended their credit liability, and now they're having a cash flow problem, that's a management problem. That's not an employee problem. But they are like, well, look, the flight attendants gave 10%. What are you guys going to give?
Yeah.
Nobody should have to give anything. This is, that's a bill you have to write. Just because you think you can doesn't mean you can.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're going to spread the pain. That's just the way it's going to be. That's historic, right? You can't get away from that. So yeah, I mean,
is anyone on here who's a cargo guy? Because that's one thing.
No. we
Okay,
have a couple guys that have been on prior shows that were cargo dudes, and they're smiling and shit.
exactly. That's one
Yeah,
lesson from both of these, that if you can go cargo or passenger, go cargo, because it wasn't impacted on either case.
Anywhere, either
that
way.
rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong is looking pretty good these days.
Exactly.
I tell you what, it's keeping our company afloat because we do a lot of cargo in the belly
All
of
of
the
them are.
jumbos.
All of them became cargo.
Right. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
we got rid of more.
350s. Yeah.
It's good stuff. I mean, it's helping us too, just not as at an alarming rate like them, I guess. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
It's not helping the flight attendants because we got rid of a lot of them. We're just flying just cargo on some of them.
Oh yeah, we got rid of a lot of good folks. People that you call family that you remember coming up with, back in the day, and now they're considered extremely junior after our merger, and they're gone. So
Yeah.
no more of them. But hopefully they're on the bigger and better things. It isn't, again, we've mentioned that too on this early on, is that this is also an opportunity. It's not a fun situation we have to go through, but it's also an opportunity maybe to get into something that you never thought you could, or go back to school, or whatever the case may be. Are you using the bathroom?
No,
Oh,
I'm opening another beer. That's what you can do when you have a phone.
Thank God.
He can open a beer, he just can't make his Bluetooth work.
Yeah, you just can't turn on.
Hey, I'm just one above caveman.
Well, speaking of which, the Wags is pretty what's the
Legendary.
word? Legendary is a good word. Legendary
Notorious.
for the squadron for many reasons. And these are things that I've tried to push in his absence when all the OGs left. It's something I really wanted to get the squadron to go. But the squadron really turned on us, Wags. They I don't know what they turned into. Wow. Like what happened to our military? Like the softest, butteriest, just coziest group I've ever. But to his credit, Wagner had rules, and they
I'm gonna throw
were
my own
known
self under the
as
bus on this one.
Wagner Rules. What was that? What was that, Callie?
Yeah, let's hear this bus
I'll throw
story.
myself under the bus in this one. I think we let too many fucking people in from the 91st, right?
Yeah.
What happened? What happened between the OGs and today is we just opened a fucking floodgate, and maybe like 1 out of 5 ended up being who would get hired, from a normal rush, but because of what we talked about before, the filters being absent, it's like, right? I mean, I think if you had to pinpoint something, sorry to all my.
I'd like to pinpoint your Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
that's problematic.
Are you both in Michigan? Because is somebody on the east side, somebody on the west side? Because
Chris, you
sucks.
keep going in and out.
I do.
Yeah.
No, Callahan.
Oh, okay, let me try something else.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great picture. That's scary. Cow, I love it. Incidentally, Wags,
how's that?
Callie, well,
Better.
we won't know until you start talking, I guess.
Yeah.
Callie has been kicked off more social media pages than anybody in the history of social media for trolling. He's a master troller. Oh, his stuff is amazing.
Callahan's created quite the legacy for himself as well.
He definitely has. But back to these rules. So Wagner had rules, and they were culminated over a lifetime of what's the word there?
Experiences. Yes.
I don't know if experiences for sure. But I don't know. The experiences almost sound like they're positive things. Some of these things are definitely bad. Something happened to you that you had to come up with this.
I don't
Please
know if
explain.
you remember this, Brandon. When we were in dive certification class, you helped me make rule number 7. I think it was.
Exactly, and it's right here. It was an epiphany. I have them. So we're gonna go over the Wagner rules here.
Really?
If
this was supposed to be about flying.
This is about flying. What are you talking about?
20% flying, 80% fucking
80%. Fuckery. The fuckery of it all. So here we go. And not any particular order. Yes, they are in a particular order. And I'll go and I'll number them. The first one, for those of you listening, and I hope you're listening, because the first one is key. is key to survival. When I first heard this via
Before
Wagner,
you read
actually,
it,
Tim.
I didn't write it. Someone else wrote it, and I bet it was you. Go ahead, continue.
So Wagner rule number 1, and again, I was trying to get these into the squadron posted somewhere. It didn't happen. Maybe one day you guys that are still there could do it. Number 1, admit nothing, deny everything, and make counter accusations. That rule will go down in infamy. I know you've heard it. You know why you've heard it, Callie? You know how many times I've said that in the squadron?
From you, yeah. It's been twisted to, I think, lie, deny, counter, accuse. It's been kind of truncated.
It has. And every time I heard that, it pisses me off. But yes, it doesn't need to be changed. It's pure.
It rhymes, but it rhymes.
It does kind of rhyme, I guess it does. It's quicker. I will give you that. Wagner rule number 2, never chase it. It will eventually come to you.
So no one else can claim that one. The first one, maybe I may have paraphrased past
somebody else's. Second one is definitely you. And Tyler, and I believe myself in many cases, I've seen Tyler in action, and it definitely worked for him. Wagner rule number 3, never buy a drink for a girl you just met at the bar. She's most likely playing you. That's gender specific, but it doesn't have to be. It can go either way in today's day and age. Now, we got to remember that these were written in stone a long time ago with a chisel.
Well, can I explain why I had to write these down?
Please.
Absolutely.
Because you sons of bitches would call me at 2 or 3 in the morning about once every weekend and say, "What are your rules again?" as you're vomiting in the bathroom or something. So I literally had to write them out so I could just text them or send them to them immediately instead of having to verbalize them.
We would go on the road somewhere.
You should have made business cards and kept them in your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
I should have.
You know what? That would have been great. We used to go and purposefully make sure it was like 2 o'clock in the morning where he was and call him up for these rules. It was great. Number 4, stop drinking booze at midnight. It's not going to make you any smarter, funnier, or perform better.
That's the one I get the most pushback from.
Yeah. I have to agree.
But you're rich if you follow it.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. No one's curing cancer after midnight.
That's right.
Right?
Hey, Tyler. Yeah, Tyler. Wagner rule number 5. Now, this one I use quite often, even now, and it might be because it's dating me, but Wagner rule number 5, shots are for rookies, unless it's a luge or this bartender's birthday. That makes sense.
Ooh.
Shots are for rookies.
I like the exceptions.
Okay. Yeah, the exceptions came afterwards. We kind of I think they during that Australia trip is when they came.
Yes. I've modified them even since then, but that's okay.
Oh, really?
Can we discuss the modifications?
I got to update my list.
Let's update.
Shots are the fastest way to build up a 4-digit bar tab.
True.
Right? Like if you're not doing shots, you could pretty much live in a 3-digit home. But if you're doing shots at a party, like a pirate party or something, you're gonna get the 4 digits.
It's a wrap. It's gonna be expensive.
Yes.
Wagner rule number 6. Now this is the one that.
Let's get to his modifications. I'd like to hear the update.
Oh, you want to? I thought we would go through them first, or you want to go by each modification?
Well, how many
by each one?
Yeah, let's stay chronological here.
Okay. Do you have a modification for number 5? Shots are for
Read
rookies?
it again, and I'll.
Shots are for rookies unless it's a luge or the bartender's birthday.
No, that's the same.
That's sound, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What about any of the other top?
There's nothing else, huh?
Yeah, there was one of the earlier ones I modified, and I can't remember which one it was.
Never chase it; it'll always come to you.
No, that one's never modified.
Admit nothing, deny everything, make counter accusations.
No,
Nope,
not that one. That's
never buy a drink for a girl you just met at the bar. She's probably playing you.
That one I think I modified to say unless it's a female friend. Oh, did we get to the? Okay, now
that'd be
go
hilarious
back
to take all of her drinks off your tab at the end of the night. Be like, oh shit, I just read my rules and I'm so sorry, but take all of her drinks off my tab.
Yeah, you got to do it. Got to do it.
You have how many rules do you have there? 6 or 10?
I have 11.
Okay, 11. Okay, perfect. Then you have the last rule that says modifies all of them.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
So Wagner rule number 6. Now this is the one that once it was said by a dive instructor.
This was a dive instructor, yes.
In Guam, we looked at each other and it was like the heavens opened up and the Almighty's light shined upon us. The man said, and we modified it for this. He said, and when you're going down there, guys, if it's too ugly or too pretty, just don't touch it. That's what he said. And we looked at each other.
The
like,
dive instructor.
that is amazing. So it modified itself to, and I think you may have changed this a little bit. If it's really ugly or really pretty, you're better off staying away from it.
Absolutely. Stick by
I will
it.
say in parentheses, you did put, if it's really ugly, parentheses, can't lock your fingers behind your back, their back. Yeah. Okay.
And of course,
Wasn't me.
This
Go
is the
back to rule
perfect
number
opportunity.
1. Wasn't me.
Well, it's the perfect opportunity to bring up rule number 3, no drinking after midnight, because that
Yes.
that slide dramatically.
I got one word: shut. Number 7, Wagner rule number 7: wear a helmet.
Simple enough.
Simple.
Okay.
Oh, by the way,
Is that
I
a
have 4
euphemism for a
kids.
condom?
By the way, I have 4
4
kids,
kids.
and the last one was from a girlfriend who said she couldn't get pregnant. So there you go.
There you have it. And I think that's
Side.
where that one came from.
Yeah.
Quite certain. So, okay, Wagner rule number 9. Yes, you heard it correctly. If it flies, floats, or, fucks, you're better off renting. I think that's one we
That's
I don't know.
stolen.
Yeah.
That's stolen.
That's
That's
pretty
that's
well
fine. That's
proliferated,
fine.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
all right.
I
Doesn't
got to
make it-
explain why
doesn't
I
make it
went
untrue.
past 7. I had 6. I went past 7, and I think Brandon was the one who said you can't have a weird number like that. You got to have 10, like commandments. So I'm like,
Exactly.
well, that's a normal rule, so I'm just going to throw it in there. Continue.
Correct. That rounded out the 10. It would.
Yes.
Number 10, all rules can be broken under the right circumstances. There
The
should be a
right
caveat.
circumstances used to say, if you know, not think, but know.
That's
you're
right.
Going
Without
to
a
get laid.
shadow of a doubt, you're gonna. Yeah, that's. And then after 10, there's number 8. I don't know why. A hot girl bartender or a really cool guy bartender is always right, no matter.
A bartender made me add that one, and
what. Yeah,
I agreed with it.
she must have been, or he must have been really hot, huh?
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Oh yeah, and then there's Wagner rule number 11. If you didn't notice, 8 was moved to after 10. You've had too much. Go home. So those are the Wagner rules. Now I had them gussied up, and I was gonna have them plaqued, and I had the princess was gonna put them up, and it never happened. There was other issues.
That would
I
look
guess.
great next to JoJo's shot wheel.
Right, that never happened. Or
That never
we were
happened.
gonna have the Hall of Flames. So that's one of the things that Wags is known for. Wagner rules.
Well, it's nice to know they stuck around in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not verbatim and maybe not every day, but I swear I heard a few of those tossed around. So just sleep well, Wags. Your legacy carried on at least a generation or so.
That
I
makes
can't
my
speak for what the
warm
fuck
in
they
my
do.
heart.
Well, on the hiring board for a while, I was trying to get them to have to memorize them and recite them. That didn't go over very well. I was accused of hazing.
Then they started playing Twister on top of the table and puking in wastebaskets and stuff.
That got weird.
It got off the rails real fast.
Hey, is this an appropriate forum for some awkward interview questions per se?
After
Like,
you
you know
just
what?
read that, I mean, I'm pretty sure anything goes in this forum.
Well, I'm strictly speaking. Well, I guess the people that could be implicated have since left the 63rd. But
Oh, yeah.
like
Good.
the dartboard, one of our former rooms puking, in the interview.
Yeah.
Johnny
Didn't quite make it.
Pullen.
Oh yeah, JP. Man, yeah, we had some epic hiring boards. They got off the rails a little bit for a while, but it was the most epic hiring at the time. We got some of the
We were like,
best
well, shit.
dudes.
Yeah, we got to hire this person because now we're implicated.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're pot committed. Yeah.
That's basically what happened. It's like we gotta hire him.
If we
You
or
hire
can't
him,
say
then
shit, and
he
I
can't-
can't say shit. Yeah.
he's gonna go to the IG. I gotta hire him.
Well, I don't know if you remember, Brandon, when Tom Cooper and I were the chief pilots, we'd have the interview, and
Yeah.
then Tom Cooper would always have a party that Saturday night.
Exactly.
And that was the interview.
Was the interview. I
was
remember
not
that.
the formal stuff. It was the party.
That's how I got
So-
hired. I got hired at the party.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was
And there were
Yeah,
some
that
guys
was a
who
good
lost
time.
their job at the party.
Right.
Very true.
There were some
Very
guys
true.
who
We
went
eventually
over.
modified that and required people to come one drill prior to the interview.
Yeah.
And they would party interview like in October, and then they would actually do the
Interview
formal
in November.
which was a formality because you already knew what you were going to do.
Right,
Which is why
exactly.
puking waste baskets and play Twister on the table. Or if you had a boring interview, you probably weren't going to get hired.
Correct. Oh, Wags, man. I miss those days.
So do I, my brother.
Yeah.
You're the one who gave me
We had a
my
good time.
nickname too.
Oh, yeah. The Vanilla Gorilla.
Sounds like a story.
The van-
No, it's just a personality more than a
It's-
story.
Exactly. Like a bull in a china shop. He's awesome.
Yep.
It was great. I think I may have Tyler might be version 2. Did I ever call you that, Tyler? Tyler's like 6'4" and a behemoth of a person.
Yeah. You seem jealous, Tyler. Do you want to be the vanilla granola?
Oh, no, it was Dean. But for a bad reason. So I stopped calling
Okay,
him that.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
'cause
was-
he jerks off and flings his poop.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, and he likes
He
to
said a
lick
bad
the
reason.
windows. He said a bad reason.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so I stopped calling him that, but yeah, he's a trip.
All right,
Yeah,
this
man.
is my first time doing this. How many people are actually listening to this right now?
Good question. Glad you
2 or
asked.
3,000.
I
or
don't think.
or 8.
Is this related to the Sky Pirates, or is that something different?
Which one?
This.
Oh, Friday? Yeah.
Yeah. Sky
okay,
Pirate.
this is
Yeah.
okay. I'm just-
Yeah, so we're producing a
stuff in the right
couple of shows, couple of channels. So Opportunity Hour, Furlough Friday. We're gonna have some fitness potentially, and then we're gonna have some a little bit more life. Right, it's a lifestyle thing. You know, I think all 4 of us know how aviation is more than just flying. There's stuff that we do on the ground that people just want to know about. We have a good time. We're able to do amazing things in the air, and then on the ground we have fun like we're kids again. You know, because we get to do some of the coolest stuff on the planet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, we want to showcase that stuff. We want to let people know that, yeah, you know, this is what being an aviator is all about. And not just a pilot, but an aviator. We had a flight attendant on too that does a lot of social media stuff. She got on here, and we're going to have
That
a
was a
lot
good
more
show.
lifestyle stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this won't be the last time you're on, Wags.
We have to actually live the lifestyle though to do that, man. It's are you still flying? Have you flown yet, Brandon?
No, I don't.
Yeah, it's been a
Well, I
while.
have a goatee.
I took
I've had to
6
shave
months
it.
off.
Are you serious? But you're back flying now, though, right?
Actually, I upgraded to captain officially April
Ooh.
1st, and I took leave for 6 months April 1st or April 2nd. So I never even started the training. I go back to training the 12th
Nice.
of October. So I've been off like 7 months.
What equipment?
7-3.
Very good. Cool,
Still
man.
doing the Caribbean stuff.
Nice. And you'll still be able to do that even with that seniority, or you keep your in the captain
If
seat?
the islands open up, well,
Yeah.
they kind of, what they did was they combined the 737 only in Miami, domestic and international. If they kept it just international, I would be doing South American, Caribbean. But
Oh yeah.
since they combined it, the only way to get to the Caribbean is you have to go through LaGuardia, or
Oh, yeah,
DCA or,
Yep.
Fly the waters.
Chicago. So you have to have one crappy overnight to get there. So
Yeah. That's no fun.
No.
What's the fun in that?
hopefully they'll take it back and make it all international again. But
That's killer.
So when we started this podcast, you were saying that you were doing some engineering.
yeah, so you want to hear that?
Yeah, let's keep going with that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you're working on a tank, dude. Abrams, right?
Yeah. So let's go back to how I got hired. I had systems acquisition because I got banked at Wright-Patterson. I was an engineering degree and I was a flight safety officer. So I know this is ancient, but I put this all out on monster.com and a headhunter grabbed it, marketed me to General Dynamics, and I got hired as a risk manager because flight safety, it's all risk management. And I actually did well in the interview. The only thing I didn't have was mine was, it's more, it's not statistics risk management, where General Dynamics did have that. So I learned that wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But once I got in my foot in the door, because of my engineering degree and because of I was an operator, and they appreciated that. Even though it wasn't a tank, it was an operator of a major weapons system or whatever. So that, the Army, they're like 10 years behind everything we're doing. And I understood the talk kind of. So I ended up being an engineering project manager. So I was in charge of the schedule, the budget, and technical performance of whatever program I was managing.
That's what I remember. You being in charge, like a project manager. That's what I remember you doing.
Yeah. I had like 60 heads and about, I think, $50 million I managed.
Of the whole Abrams tank, or just one portion of it? Just the safety
one
portion.
So most of the time I did lethality. So I did the gun, the main gun. You had mobility, you had lethality, you had survivability, and different guys would manage the different part. And then you had one guy overarching the whole Abrams.
Sure. Wow. That's killer.
But it was,
You ever hear a KC-10 flight engineer talk about them being an engineer and get indignant, being like, the fuck you are?
KC-10 engineer.
that was kind of a non sequitur, but yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
No, it never pissed me off.
Okay.
So so as an engineer, I'm an idiot. I don't design anything. I didn't design anything.
I can vouch for that.
Yes, he can. So the smart guys were the guys who designed everything, and these guys had patents and things like that. And my job, really, the most important part of my job was to figure out what the hell that guy was doing and tell the colonel, who was a history major at West Point, what that engineer is doing, because he has no clue. So I was a translator that was probably the most important part of that job.
Yeah.
There's a movie about that, I swear.
Yeah, I think
about dealing with engineers, because the people.
Is it Patton was in it or something?
And they can't talk to people either. They don't want to talk to people. They just want to sit in the corner and design, a lot of them.
I'm a people person. Can't you people see that?
Can't you see that?
Yeah.
That's great. So you weren't one of the window lickers. You're actually translating.
Yeah, I didn't. And the engineers want to always tweak it, and I'm like, no. This is the deadline, the schedule part. No, you can't tweak it anymore. But I want to add this.
Oh yeah. It's their baby, man.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like artists.
You can't do that. So, but that was a great job, and I got paid pretty well, but I continued flying. And I can't imagine the guys who were furloughed and didn't have the guard or reserve to fall back on, and came back 10 years later, tried to jump in a cockpit and didn't fly for 10 years. I don't know how they survived.
Yeah, guys did it. Guys are going to do it now. It's going to happen probably again. Well, I don't know. Maybe not with what's happening with the CARES too and all that. So maybe there won't be as many furloughs as we think. We postponed a lot, so my hope is that there aren't.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as long-lived as the airlines were. It was a longer impact, but I don't think it's going to be a severe impact.
Yeah. We'll see.
Because I think when it comes back, it's going to come back with a vengeance.
I think so too. I think people are just dying to get out of their house and get out of their home.
Oh,
and
yeah. God.
Go back to Disney, get on a cruise line, go to Vegas. The second
Vegas.
that they get the green light in terms of, risk assessment and health, they're back on an airplane. And it's going to happen overnight, I think.
Yeah,
Yep.
floodgates will open up.
Yep.
That's the hope.
Chris, I have an interesting point, engineering perspective. I read an article, I think it was a year ago, but it was basically, it was a what the fuck happened to Boeing article. Because, this time a year ago, they had 2 MAX crashes. They've had the KC-46 problems, and they've had the 787 battery issues. They've had just like problem after problem. And somebody was trying to kind of figure out what happened to the culture at Boeing. And I think the point of the article, if I'm not mistaken, was that it used to be a aeronautics company run by engineers, for the sake of building airplanes. And after the mergers in the 90s and the Clinton era cuts, they merged with McDonnell Douglas, right?
Yep.
And McDonnell Douglas was historically a defense contractor.
Yeah.
Run by, I guess, the bean counters. And there was I don't want to call it a hostile takeover because Boeing was the larger company at the time, but the bean counters at McDonnell Douglas kind of forcefully put themselves in those positions of leadership at Boeing. And the point of the article was the culture hasn't been the same ever since. The engineers who, I guess, by your critique, maybe had too many nitpicks or too many tangents or too many complaints that weren't related to the final goal of the project. However, I'd say in that situation, the bean counters also didn't have the overall good of the company at heart either. So it does kind of, it's a moral. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, actually, sorry, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what happened, but it wasn't. They were all about making a profit and cutting corners to make the profit. That's not. I hope you didn't get that. That's what I do because
No.
So that's
I got that you had to sometimes shut down the engineers because they always just keep wanting to keep tweaking it and keep perfecting it. And at some point you got to tell them no. So I got that from you.
And what Boeing did was those bean counters. Sorry, I'm plugging in my phone here. At Boeing, that's exactly what happened. They took charge, and when the engineers were saying, no, you need redundancy on this, and they said, no, we don't need redundancy on that.
We need 2 AOA transmitters for the
Yes.
MCAS system. Trust.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you a 7.3 guy? Obviously, you sound like a
am.
7.3 guy. Okay. So that's what I am too. I flew the MAX all the time, and I love that plane, actually. It flew like a tanker.
I can't count below 777.
Okay, buddy. So no, but that's you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what happened. And the engineers before used to be able to say, no, we have to do this. And once they merged and all the bean counters got in charge, they said, no, you're not doing it. So
I thought the previous
McDonnell Douglas bought Boeing with Boeing's money. Something like that. That was the inside joke here.
The inside joke.
Didn't the previous CEO also didn't he slash QA as well? I don't know how accurate that is. That's something I heard. Yeah. The one that just resigned or the one that's just fired or whatever, I heard that he slash QA.
Yes.
Which would make sense for tools showing up in the fuel cells, for example.
Yes. That is correct from what I heard.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's scary, man.
So maybe we haven't seen the bottom yet. Maybe there's still, some horror stories to come. But man, it's been one blow after another for Boeing.
Well, funny you should say that because this is the same management. The 7.3 had the same management that built the 787.
Right.
And the same philosophy. So I'm not convinced that we're not going to see problems with that aircraft in the future.
Sparky? When they call it Sparky for a while?
The
Like
7-8,
battery?
yeah, because
The 7.8, yeah.
yeah.
It used to be
Oh.
if it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. But now everybody
heard-
wants to fly
Yeah.
bus.
I heard they're gonna rebrand. No shit, I heard this rumor. They're gonna rebrand the Max as the Ultra, and they're gonna just hope people don't fucking notice. They're gonna make the 737 Ultra. That's what I heard, and I heard we're buying it.
Well, of course. Everybody has orders in. Everybody's
Well,
gonna
I know
fly
we
in.
already have our bid sheets out to get the retraining in it
Okay.
Oh wow.
to get
Yeah.
certified. So it's
It's coming back.
They think it's going to be back by January.
And didn't I think we mentioned on the other show that
Yeah, we had Brian
I-
Kinney on a couple weeks ago,
yeah,
and he
yeah,
said they're
Kinney was
flying it
on.
again, just not revenue flights or whatever.
and who's flying like the maiden voyage or back the president of Alpa or the president of the company or something to show solidarity
Yeah,
and
it's
like
safe. It's safe.
safe. Yeah.
That's
Well-
got mishap written all over it. That reminds me of one tanker where they were going to fly. They're going to break the record over the Atlantic Ocean, right? Taking off from Loring to Mildenhall,
Oh
and
yeah.
they crashed like a mile after the runway. It was really sad. I'm not trying to make light of it, but
Of course.
it
not.
sounds like the same setup, doesn't it? Like
when anytime
Look
you
at
do
this.
that, pride cometh before the fall, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it comes back, and I hope it's safe. I don't want to see anybody, especially in the United States, anybody at all, but especially one of our
Yeah.
carriers, it happened to. That's just not. Our industry has taken enough punches. We don't need
Yes.
any more.
Right.
It's so fragile. The fragility of our industry is just insane to me sometimes.
But you know
And-
what, Brandon? One thing could beget another. Like you talk about people
Yeah.
coming back after flying for, or not flying for months or years. It's like
Yeah.
it could be the perfect storm. Like maybe they would have been fine handling a MCAS malfunction, but they had to sit on furlough for 4 years, and they came back through a
Yeah.
abbreviated training program, and then yeah,
Those things,
God
man,
forbid.
it's scary. Like
know.
anybody listening, if you need more time, take more time. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you, stay
Well,
an extra week. Like
funny you should
don't
say
let them
that.
push you out. Don't let them push you out of the training center, man.
Yeah. If I was thinking, I've been out 7 months,
Yeah.
and I'm going to captain upgrade. Not any, warm up stuff. Straight to
No.
captain upgrade. So I flew the plane for 5 years, so it shouldn't be a problem. But I'm not going to let them, send me to my check ride until I'm comfortable that I'm going to pass it.
Yeah. And this is where we're at a position in our careers where we can say stuff like that. It's like, nah, I want more time. We should be able
Yeah.
to know ourselves well enough. We've been flying, by now 20 something years, maybe, or an average, if not more, now that I think about it. So there should be no reason why we're not trying to police ourselves better. And that's why we have all the responsibility, I
Right.
guess. So take the time. I know I am. Like I thought they were going to send me through a short course because I got displaced to a different jet. I'm like, and I hadn't flown that jet in probably 6 years now. And they were going to give me this. Well, let me think. I almost lined up for an abbreviated course. I was like within months of abbreviated and then the full. And I'm like, man, I hope they don't call me.
Yeah.
No, like I'm gonna ask for the full course. Like I
Yeah.
can't.
Now
That's
it's sad
it's
this
crazy.
factors in, but when do you actually convert the pay rate? Is it when you finish your check sim,
Talking about me?
or is it when you start training? Well, I'm just saying for anybody. Like
in
if you
general.
had the choice between a short course and a long course,
Yeah.
and you're getting
Well-
paid like let's say 777 pay until you finish, then it's 75 pay.
Yeah.
Then
That's basically what
someone
it is.
might be a cowboy and be, well, I'll take the short course
Nah.
or I'll take the longer
not.
course because I get paid 777 pay long.
You get paid longer.
Well, we got
I mean,
paid.
it's
There's
2 weeks
there's a-
longer.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like-
Well, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It is. But not if not if there's a mishap. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't look at that. We get paid pretty good, and could always use more. That's the sky pirate in me. But
Oh yeah.
that being said, what you got, Tyler? How we feeling, guys? We've been on an hour, and I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know it's valuable, Wags. I know you got more rules to write.
Absolutely. Or to
I
break.
wait that list.
I know you got a basement and change. You got to go tighten.
It's a fish.
On that note,
All right. Hey,
You
thanks
guys got
for letting
anything?
me do this. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
man.
Yeah, it was
It won't
fun.
be the last time, dude. I want to get some more of the old heads on here, some OGs, and they got some good stories. We had a great group. We had a great squadron, and we have some
Yeah.
great stories. So I want to bring
Yeah, I went
those
and
out.
visited Tim Martin a little while ago, and
I
he's
want
in
him.
Punta Gorda.
He's in Florida, right?
Yeah, he's in Punta Gorda.
Man, I didn't even know that. So I gotta
Yeah.
definitely look him up. Tim is wow. Tim definitely has some
Yeah, he's
stories
got some
that he
stories.
can't tell on here. I can tell you that
Nope.
right now. But we're still gonna try to get it out of him. All right, brother. We appreciate you being
All
on,
right.
man. Chris Wagner. Until next time.
Yeah,
Take it easy.
good time,
Thanks,
guys.
Chris.
Thanks.
You too.